If you want to play the Alpha 1 of Ashes of Creation, well, you're going to have to cough up about $500. Now, we don't know the exact figure, but on the monthly live stream, which has actually been tonight, I'm recording this on the 30th of April, the lead developer, Steven, said basically it's going to be $500. Now, I don't know if it's going to be a little bit less or a little bit higher, but let's just go with $500. That's a very, very high figure. And Steven himself said, unless you want to be a proper tester, a play tester of the game, do not buy it. Basically, if you're buying this and you're thinking, oh, I want to actually play the full game, Ashes of Creation, as it will be when it comes out, that's not going to be the case. Obviously, they're going to make changes all through the development cycle, and they pretty much stating here that they don't have all of the functionality that the game will have. So it's going to have a little bit of crafting, sure, but that crafting system's not going to be the crafting system that we see. So please, and I think like, I was looking at buying into this because I started covering like MMO games and stuff like that, and I was like, oh, maybe I should, but quite frankly, I'm not going to pay $500 to get into an Alpha 1. Now, there is an argument here of, you can question maybe why they are reopening them up. Now, on one hand, there's two arguments to be made here. You've got the argument of, well, they're opening it up to cash in on the hype. Or you could go with what they are saying is the reason they're opening this up, which is that they are getting a lot of requests to get into Alpha 1. Now, it could be both. Do you know what I mean? They probably are getting quite a lot of requests because the game is so hyped. Now, the reason it's $500, as far as I know, that's the amount that it was basically if you were going through Kickstarter and stuff like that. They said on the stream that, to be fair to the people who already have access to Alpha 1 and have paid that amount of money, that they essentially need to charge a similar amount. And that makes sense. If you've got the cash, you're like, $500 doesn't mean that much to you. I mean, you're probably quite rich and you have the time and you're interested in actually not developing the game, but getting involved in the development and giving feedback and that kind of stuff. Feel free, crack on. I wouldn't want to tell you not to bother, but if any of those two criteria are a problem for you, I would say please do not buy the Alpha 1. Just wait. Don't buy into the hype quite as the internet is creating. But let's say you're like me, and technically I could afford $500, but that's half of my car or whatever like that. I don't actually know what it is in pounds, but let's have a look at the other ways you could get into not Alpha 1, but maybe like the beta and stuff like that. So they have a couple of packages. The most expensive one on the website I can see is $375, but keep in mind that does get you access to Alpha 2, but it actually gives you access to some extra stuff. The actual cheapest way to get into Alpha 2 is this package here, which is $250. Now, that's still a very high amount of money. Because I've started making MMO channels, I might buy into that one when it comes around. I'll see how the Alpha 1 is getting on. But yeah, I think that's still high. And then there's two options for beta that I can see, which is you've got this package here, which is $150, which gives you access to beta 1. So, I mean, we're getting to a point where I could see it being worth it because you're going to have to buy the game anyway. But $150 is quite high, but it's not insane. And then you have the cheapest way, which gets you into beta 2, which is basically just before the game comes out, essentially, and that's $75. So there are options if you do want to get involved. These are on the website. There's 4 different options. Keep that in mind. If that's something you want to do, then you have those options. One thing to note, if you are interested in getting into this Alpha 1, then I believe they said it's going to be available, I think May 5th. They're going to be opening up the details for that. It might have been May 15th, I can't remember exactly, but it's essentially sometime in May you'll be able to get access into the Alpha 1 if you want to. I'm actually surprised that more games haven't taken this path of, getting people to pay to basically test your game for you. A lot of companies will have like internal play testers and that kind of thing. Why bother with that when you can literally get people to give you $500 for the privilege of playtesting your game? I think it's a stroke of genius. Now, there are obviously reasons like big companies don't do that. Are people going to respect their NDAs and that kind of stuff? Will they be able to keep all the secrets that you're trying to keep? Who knows? But I just think it's pretty genius that they can get people to give them money to playtest their game. When you've got the hype as big as Ashes of Creation as the hype, well, that's something you can get away with. So that's it. please don't feel the pressure of fear of missing out. I'm with you on that one. I'm probably going to be with you there, but just keep in mind, $500 is quite a lot of money. I personally am not going to bother, but do let me know your thoughts in the comments. Have a most beautiful day. Like and subscribe. Goodbye.